Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coach's Box Call It Like We See It podcast. I'm Chris Miller, and I believe it's just me and Kevin Halley. How are we doing today, Kevin?
Good. We got the A team tonight. This is the A team.
I agree.
Varsity squad.
Yeah, definitely varsity squad. None of those JV guys showing up. Maybe Jarvis will show up when his food gets in from La Pachanga. But until then, it's just me and you. And you know what? That's okay. We don't have to have those other guys.
Just drag us down.
You know, if we bring a level of intelligence maybe that the other guys don't have. That's kind of what I think.
There's no maybe about that. I think it's a given fact, and the internet knows it.
You know what? The internet doesn't lie, and it's forever. That's what Abraham Lincoln said on the internet the other day. So
I read it on Facebook.
That's right. Or InstaSnap or whatever the kids use nowadays. So moving right along to our plethora of topics, we will leave the NFL talk till later, just in case some of those slackers show up. I think Zach had a game. We don't know if Jim is announcing, coaching, just hanging out, because that's what Jim does. He hangs around and rubs elbows with some big time people. We don't get to do that. We're just, lowly high school coaches, Kevin. So we don't know. And Jarvis I think he's waiting on food. So when those guys show up, maybe we'll jump into football. That'll probably be segment number 2. So until then, we have plenty of stuff to talk about that those other guys, they probably wouldn't bring a whole lot of information to. But Kevin,
they don't have enough intelligence for it. So yes, let's do this.
Yeah. 100,000%. Let's talk about something that me and you both agree on and enjoy and root for, and also just pull what's left of our hair out. The St. Louis Blues. It's been it's just like that. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, by the way, it's free, but you just missed Kevin's just deep sigh of, and that right there in itself tells you exactly how the Blues season is going. So, Kevin, what's your thoughts on some of the recent St. Louis Blues news that we've received?
The deep sigh is kind of like both ends of the spectrum, because on one side, I'm disappointed because I expected so much more as a fan and I wanted more out of it. And the hiring of Jim Montgomery, you saw good flashes from them, and then they just can't win hockey games right now. And they haven't played a full 60-minute hockey game all year, I don't think.
I mean, they have, but I don't know if it's like they're not there playing 60 minutes. So physically they have, but mentally, no.
Yes. No. They have not played a complete hockey game yet. They've skated around for 60 minutes, but they have not played a complete hockey game just yet. But in the same, I'm actually more so than with the Cardinals, I understand where Doug Armstrong's going with this. He decides to just, when things get stale and things aren't working, we're going to make some changes and try some different things. Hence the Brandon Saad release this week. Brandon was not the productive. Oh, crap.
Oh,
There went
crap.
the
Yep.
discussion.
The IQ points just dropped a few notches.
Bye-bye, Sod.
At least Jason knew what we were talking about when he rolls in here.
Hey, I
Saw
look
you
at
later.
Yeah.
I look at agendas. I know what's going on.
Go ahead and finish your thought, Kevin.
So at least more, like I says, to continue that thought, at least more like unlike with the Cardinals, when things get stale and aren't going well, Armstrong doesn't double down on what he has. He makes changes. He goes and gets a new coach that's really good. When the team still isn't playing well, he releases some veterans to keep the roster from getting stale. Brandon Saad only had 7 goals and 9 assists in 43 games this year. And as somebody who was supposed to be a top 6 forward for us, that's just not good enough. That's not even good enough for top 12.
No.
It's a 4th liner. That's a 4th line stats right there. And he was a healthy scratch for a good number of games this year.
Yeah.
And for that size contract, that's
Absolutely.
unacceptable.
Jason, since you obviously know what we're talking about, welcome to the show, by the way. Hopefully your food got there in time from La Pachanga.
No, I mean, I have a wife that's a little slow. I'm like, babe.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm
Come
telling
on
you,
now.
like, slow to get moving. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I'm like, we gotta
Like,
get going.
wow, how are we
Yeah.
painting this here? Because
I'm
I
I'll
know.
paint it however the hell I want to paint it. I said,
All right,
babe,
well, all right, dude.
it's getting close. I said, can we go? Can we go?
We
Let's
got
go.
things to do here.
But
Got shows to do.
I love that Armstrong is shaking it up. I love that they're saying, I mean, they're kind of saying all the right things. They're saying this core group, there's a bunch of guys that have been here and they've been given their chances, and I think he's going to mix it up even more.
I like Kevin said, unlike the Cardinals, the Blues don't double down on stupidity. It's like, you know what? We made this decision and it didn't work. So we're going to do something else to fix it. It's not like, well, you know, we have a lot of faith in our guys that they're going to do their job and we're just going to keep going. You guys just need to be patient and just be patient and just be patient. While the Dodgers are over there signing effing everybody, the Blues are like, you know what? We don't feel like things are going okay. So we're just going to, you know what? We're just going to fire the coach and we're just going to bring in a guy. Middle of the season doesn't matter. That's what we do. Saad, nah, you suck. We got to go. The thing about hockey contracts is they sign these guys to such long-term deals. And, you know, Saad was a good signing. I was all for it because he's a productive player. I thought he was a 2nd or 3rd line guy. And he was when we first got him, but he's just not that guy anymore. He's just not producing. Kevin, you said it. He's a 4th line producing guy, and you've got young guys that he's holding these guys up, and he's holding cap space up.
Yeah, he's blocking them from playing.
Okay, so
yeah, I liked it. Get rid of him.
Saad is a really good 4th liner on a really good team. If this team was much better, he could play that Alexander Steen role on the 4th line that Steen played on the cup winning season. But we're just not good enough to weather having a guy like that on the 4th line this year. And Jason's right. It's not the last move. I would expect to see some others go. Here, some of the fringe pieces, maybe as depth for some good teams. You may see Sundqvist might be traded. Would be a good one to get traded. You might see Nathan Walker might be a guy get traded.
But you know what it isn't going to be Robert Thomas. It ain't going to be Dylan Holloway.
Well, they all got no trade clauses. The guys are the studs.
It's not going to be Braden Shin. It's not. I mean,
yeah, it's going to be guys like Nick Leddy might be looked at as a trade piece, as a guy who can go in and be depth for a playoff run to give you an extra defender that can be reliable on a team that you want to give some guys some minutes off. So and give a night off at the end of the year. That could be a good one. I would expect to see Joel Hofer maybe as well dealt. But I think that's probably not going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But I don't see Armstrong just sitting on this and say we're going to ride this out. I think he's going to clear up some more cap space. I think he's going to kind of go into next year and see what we've got. If Minnesota gets bounced, we might see Jimmy Snuggerud in a Blues roster or Blues jersey at the end of the year for the last stretch run. You're going to see Dalibor Dvorsky probably pulled up at some point, not yet, but because they want to give him more consistent ice time at Springfield. But I'm excited. I'm kind of excited to see where this goes moving forward with this type of movement, because there's way more transparency from Armstrong than there is from Mo as to what this roster will do and what he will do to help it be better moving forward.
Well, he's going to do something. He's not just going to sit back and take that be patient approach. I mean, he's very proactive. We've seen that in the past. He's made moves. He's admitted when he's wrong, and then he just retools the roster to try to rectify the ship. He knows that people in St. Louis don't want to tank, but at the same time, they put a product out the last couple of years, trying to get some depth, some draft picks, and they've got those. They had 3 first-round draft picks in last year's draft. They've got some guys in the pipeline that will be really, really good for them. I wholeheartedly believe. But they got to free up some of these guys that they have playing at the NHL level. And that's going to cost them some wins when they start moving some of these guys, because they're good enough to not make the Blues suck. But as soon as they move them, it's going to drop, which in turn is going to lead to some the higher draft pick, obviously, for the Blues, depending on the lottery. And then whatever they get for these guys, and they're going to replenish what they haven't had in many years. They haven't had – the last time the Blues drafted, top 5 was when they got Eric Johnson in 2006 after the strike, and they sucked. The Blues sucked, and that's why they got the number 1 pick. They haven't been that team in years that have drafted in the top 5 because they've tried to stay competitive, because people in St. Louis do not want to see a loser. Yeah, it's unacceptable. You have the Cardinals next door, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to suck. Now the Cardinals kind of suck. I think St. Louis would really benefit overall, both teams, having a youth movement, trading off any pieces that they have that can help replenish the youth, the farm system, the minor leagues, and then blossom from the bottom up and build a firm foundation, because both franchises need it. The Blues in a different way than the Cardinals. The Cardinals need it in a terrible way, but the Blues, I mean, Armstrong, I think he does it right. I really do. I have faith in him.
Well, I am. There's a part of me also with Armstrong. I know his clock his timeline's kind of coming to an end here. I don't know if I'm excited to see what Alexander Steen can do. Well, Alexander Dean's taken over after next year, I think.
I'm being terrible.
Yeah. So, but I don't know if I'm excited for Alexander Steen to take over because we've been blessed with having Doug Armstrong, or I'm excited for Alex Steen because he's learned from Doug Armstrong. So until we really see what kind of thumbprint Alexander Steen really has on this roster, it's not just Armstrong. Until we see what it really is, I don't know what that's going to look like in 2-3 years from now. Will he make the right decisions?
Time will tell.
It doesn't matter who they bring in. That's what the question's going to be. At least he's learning from a guy that has proven.
Yes.
Who has proven and brought in a cup to St. Louis.
Well, he did what nobody thought would happen. I don't think everybody's like, oh, okay, whatever. We are not going to win. We always wanted to. We always root for the Blues, but it's not going to happen. And they did it. They did it. They had a great run, magical run, and that was his team that he put out there. So I think at the end of the day, we all have optimism that everything's pointing in the right direction. Will it happen? I don't know. That's part of being, a professional sports team.
Yeah. So, sometimes moves don't work out. They just don't. I can only think of one really bad move that Armstrong made during his tenure, and that's not signing Petrangelo.
It is like it's the.
But I could count on two hands and a foot how many bad moves Mozeliak has made during his time.
That's just it. I mean, I think we got. I mean, if we put us all together, we have some more fingers and toes.
I couldn't keep balance if I kept counting, so I
that's
just
fair.
stopped.
That's probably a good idea. It's a very, very good life choice.
Yeah.
It's a shame because we have both teams have just great fan bases that deserve great teams, and they're very loyal. It's not we don't have a lot of fair weather fans. You've seen more fair weather Cardinal fans based on the decisions that management have made in the last 2-3 years. Blues fans have just been like, hey, we're in it. We know we've had all these years where we sucked or we were there and we just couldn't get over the hump and they won. And those people haven't went away. It's just you understand I don't want to say the politics. You understand the economics that go with having a Stanley Cup winning team and then being able to sustain success. The COVID killed the Blues' chance for having another cup. I will go to my grave believing that the year that they shut them down, that was the year they were going to win it again. Wholeheartedly believe it. Stupid bubble hockey. They had no business doing that as far as whatever. Now we all know things, hindsight 2020, whatever. But just absolutely killed their momentum and everything that they had going because that team was better than the team that won it. And we didn't get a chance to see that team do what we felt that they could do. And because that's what you do when you build a team, you build it for a 2 and 3 year run, and you might be able to move contracts around or whatever and manage, especially when you have a salary cap, when you're not the Dodgers who spend on everything. So that's what they had a plan for, and that threw a wrench in everything. So they've been playing catch up. I'll give them that.
Yeah. I really want to see what this roster looks like in 2 years, not necessarily next year, because is Binnington still the goaltender in 2 years?
Well, I don't think – I think you got to have him. He's going to be – what's his contract up?
But I think it's not a bad contract. Can you get something for him while you still have comparable with Joe Hofer?
I don't think they got. I just don't think you can trade Jordan Binnington.
No,
I didn't think you could leave Petrangelo unsigned, but they found a way to do
I
that.
agree. Okay,
they're learning from that mistake. They're not going to. No.
Is the stove hot? Yes.
Bennington is not going anywhere.
You can't trade Binnington.
He hasn't been very good the last couple of weeks at all.
He carried us last year.
They don't help him.
He carried.
Oh, I'm not saying
carried
that.
us last year. My God, the guy's tired. His back hurts.
Yeah, you could put him on the injured list strictly for the you talk about load management. LeBron's a wuss. Jordan Binnington's been carrying the franchise since he won the cup. And LeBron needs days off.
Michael Jordan
piss on that. No way.
He was 40 or whatever. I don't care. LeBron's I hate LeBron.
Who's he play for, Jason?
And that P. Diddy stuff come out so he can go away.
Team, Jason. We're asking a serious question here.
I heard
who does LeBron play for?
Gosh, he plays for my beloved Lakers.
He plays. Hang on, I'm gonna move in closer, even though I got the headphones on.
Hey, hold on. Yeah. Hey, Chris, you know who else plays for his beloved Lakers? LeBron's son.
And that brings us to our next topic.
I thought you were gonna say street clothes. That's what I call.
Oh well, listen. AD. He has to play. He has to play a certain level of games before we even recognize that he's a player. He's on the Joel Embiid. Well, I mean, he's played more games than Embiid. Embiid has actually missed more games than he's played. I saw that there was a meme that went out. It's like, I want Joel Embiid's work. How was it? It was something like his PTO
work to
days.
Salary ratio or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's missed more days than he's played, and he's gotten paid as he's played. I'm like, yeah, there's no joke. I want his PTO days. I mean, it's like, I'm gonna show up to work for a couple days. I'm gonna have like two weeks off. It's insane. So LeBron and Bronny have been in the news because he's ruined his kid. Okay, let's be real here, fellas. I mean, when Stephen A. Smith, who I never ever in my life
love Stephen A. Bro.
I don't even agree with his takes. Like 9 times out of 10, if not 99 out of 100. But he says he goes on his show and he pleads for LeBron to stop letting his son play in NBA games. He doesn't need to play.
That was kind of funny. He did say that he needs, as a dad, as a father, he needs to go and tell them to put him back in the G League.
He's not good enough to play in the NBA. I mean, it would be like your dad telling, it's like, hey, you're going to hire my son to do this job. And you can't do it. Just think of the thing that you're the worst thing at any time that you try to do it. And it's like your dad helps you get a job to do it. And you're not nearly as good as everybody else out there. It's bad.
It's daddy ball has hit the professional leagues.
Yeah.
Bronny James, the stat, Bronny is shooting 6% from the field.
Did you say 60?
He could shoot 6. No, just 6. One number, 6.
So it's
single digit,
0.06.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He could shoot 1 for 15 in the next game, and his shooting percentage would go up.
There are levels of terrible that I can't describe.
He hasn't played that much. I mean, he's gonna hit his stride.
When's he hitting his stride?
On a treadmill?
At the rec league at the YMCA. Maybe he's playing us when we used to play.
The USC alumni game.
Miller used to play at the Y in the old men's league.
Oh my gosh.
He may be able to beat Day Day's team. I don't know.
It's going to be a pack.
Day Day brings all of his ringers and they whoop Bronny's butt.
I mean,
be the Pac-12 alumni game.
He couldn't even play at USC.
No. He's 20 years old and he's played in 13 NBA games. And Kevin's right. He is shooting 6%. 6. He's 1 for 16 from the field. Hell, everybody here could drop kick the ball into the goal better than he can shoot. What are we
Dude Perfect
doing?
Is a better NBA shooter right now.
Ben Simmons can shoot better than him.
Oh, man, it's getting bad.
And Ben Simmons is the worst shooter in the league.
Guys, he is.
Ben Simmons and Bronny in the NBA three-point contest. I want to see it right now.
He has played. He's averaging 3.4 minutes, 0.3 points, 6.3 field goal percentage, 0.4 rebounds, 0.3 assists, and 0.2 steals per game.
You can get the same production.
The triple decimal.
You can get the same production from Bronny James wearing the number 9 jersey for the Lakers as taking the jersey that he wears, putting it on a chair, and setting it out in the middle of the damn court and saying, here you go.
You don't even need a chair.
I mean, literally, what do you get from playing this kid? And you're ruining his life because he's LeBron James' son. I'm waiting for someone to tell me why. Why, God, why does anybody think that this is even remotely not nepotism in its most purest form ever?
The only entity not saying this and saying it's not nepotism is
his
Lakers.
Dad. The Lakers won't even comment on it. It's his dad. His dad is he's like LaMelo Ball, only on steroids and being a part of a team. Shut the hell up. Your kid isn't good enough to play. Hell, Ball's kids were better than him. And I thought those kids weren't good enough. Are you kidding me? He's like, big baller brand, I see you and I raise you. Stop it. It's madness.
It's the big
Where's
ball
Elroy?
Where's Elroy?
Is he talking about Zach?
He's got to be talking about Zach.
Or he's talking about Powers.
Well, one of the two. We'll see which one wants to be.
Which
Elroy
one is
there.
Elroy there, Ron Rhodes?
Wait, Elroy, we talk about the Jetsons coach? Yeah, I mean, come on. We all know who the Jetsons are. We don't know if they had cartoons back when you were growing up. So
yeah,
you've shown your age with that joke there, Coach. You're gonna have to
it was a Steamboat Mickey or the Jetsons or
Charlie Chaplin.
You got to flip the pages to make the guy move. It's called animation. Oh, Lord. I think on that note, we need to take a break. When we come back, big time. Okay, he's talking about Jim. When we come back, we're going to discuss, are those games rigged or not?
No.
Meaning the Kansas City Chiefs games, because it is a topic of discussion in the world of sports. Zach won't show up. He's too busy coaching or whatever Zach does. He's probably watching the dog or washing the dog.
His wife told me he had to do something.
He's probably got to babysit the dog. All right, we come back. This is the second segment of the Coach's Box. See you in a second.
I'm the guy sitting next to your girl on the kiss cam.
And this game just got a lot more interesting.
Sheila? Mom?
Fire!
And if you don't have the right home coverage, you might have to kiss your savings goodbye. Let's go, beat it. So get Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Bro! Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next set up.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. In the hobby of collecting, check out Elite Collectibles, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They carry a wide variety of sports cards, trading cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other non-sports cards. Need some supplies? They also have sleeves, top loaders, boxes, and much, much more. They have online auctions every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and also do bulk grading submissions to SGC and CGC. Check out Elite Collectibles at 1258 Main Street in Imperial, Missouri. You can also view their entire inventory at www.elitecollecting.com.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Health Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling. We've got so much content on there. Gaming, Check it out, live, not live. We've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment of the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. This is episode 223. We're still having a hard time believing that we have been on the air this long. I think we're going on like 4 or 5 years now, but we've got 223 of these damn things going, and we couldn't do it without you guys tuning in and watching and listening. If you're watching, you're probably watching on YouTube, Facebook, or on the X. Sometimes we have people tune in from Twitch. It's kind of odd, but it still works. We do stream live there. And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and you do all of that, all those different platforms for the grand total of, Jason, I'm waiting for it.
Free. For free.
Grand total of free. Not just $0, but by God, it's free.
That's what... that brought up something that I saw this week on another. This is way off script. I'm just going off script.
No way.
And I guess some other publications got some news show going on or whatever. And so I kind of watched the preview to it, and it's a podcast. And the guy said, this ain't going to be your ordinary podcast, like some guys in a basement. And I was like, you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's shots fired.
I felt that way. And I don't know anything about them. And they may have a great podcast. And I was just kind of like,
What's wrong with being in the basement?
I mean, this basement used to have the holiest of holes in it, and
it's a holy
basement. This basement.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, why do people care where everybody else does their podcast from? I mean, I'm sorry, you do your podcast from your bathroom or something because your wife thinks you're too loud.
I don't.
Zach's actually in the bedroom, because then you can see the window over there, and you know how much time he has left, because if the window's open, he's like, "Hey, go."
Well, you never know how much them dogs will be barking over there either.
There's nothing wrong with dogs barking.
Oh, why do you say that? But anyway, go ahead.
Maybe because dogs bark. So, moving on to our main topic of the show that we do like to put in this portion of the show. The NFL conference championship games were last weekend, with the Philadelphia Eagles beating the Washington Redskins. Yes, I said Redskins, because I don't like to call them the Commanders. I think it's stupid. But they beat them, and they deservedly beat them. They beat them bad, too. It wasn't even a game. Like, thanks for playing, whatever. We're going to the Super Bowl, dude. And, by the way, thank you, Giants, for Saquon Barkley. And then we have the Kansas City Chiefs, who pretty much ran it back and defeated the Buffalo Bills, the hapless Buffalo Bills, the we can't beat Kansas City when it really counts Buffalo Bills, the probably new factory of sadness Buffalo Bills, and by God, it's just blown up into this. I don't know how much you guys actually get to see X, formerly known as Twitter, and all of these people from Buffalo and actually around the country thinking that the game, the AFC Championship game, and any Chiefs game is absolutely rigged. People are boycotting the Super Bowl. So the question I want to ask you
Four
guys,
losers. Go ahead.
I kind of know where Jason feels on this. So we'll start with Kevin. Kevin, what's your thoughts on the officiating as far as, do you feel like it leans towards the Chiefs, yes or no? And why?
It leans towards the Chiefs, but not in a rigged situation. It leans towards the Chiefs because the Chiefs put themselves in situations in which decisions have to be made, and it just appears as though that always goes in the Chiefs' direction. This is really about the fact that Buffalo has never gotten past the curse of Scott Norwood.
Oh my God, you brought up Scott
I
Norwood.
like it, Kevin. Keep up. Go.
Wow.
This is the Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas.
Gosh,
Scott
imagine that 4 Super Bowls and not win.
In a row.
And not win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Buffalo fans. You're cursed.
Yeah.
Well, go. I mean,
but it's not rigged. It's not rigged. The calls are not. I get the memes. I understand all that stuff. The calls are not that egregious that it seems like it goes that direction. There's a lot of. I don't understand some of it, but yes, it doesn't seem to be that egregious to me.
All right, Jason, let's hear what you guys say. I already know where you're going with it, but just go ahead.
I'm looking at a chart right now on the internet.
Wait, they have charts?
On the assessed yards
and graphs.
On the assessed yards for penalties in the Bills and Chiefs game. And it has assessed yards and then it has true yards. And in both those categories, the Bills were ahead of the Chiefs in that game on assessed yards and true yards. So, I mean, I guess if you look at some of these things that people are coming up with, but it says in the article I'm reading, based on the projections from the counts, the Bills are right where you'd expect them to be. The Chiefs, on the other hand, had an astonishing low amount of yards based on the count. I mean, you could swing this either way. I don't feel like that the refs are, making intentional calls to help the Chiefs win games. I don't. I think because the Chiefs are about to do something that no other team has done, the Chiefs are like the Patriots. Everybody hates them unless you're a Chiefs fan. And they've won too much. I mean, what? Patrick Mahomes has been to 5 out of 7 years or something? I don't know. I just think it's just an excuse. Hey, Josh Allen, don't be stupid and throw picks or don't do stupid things and you win. I don't think it's the refs.
They gave the Bills' defense is what really cost them that game, giving up as much as what they did. So
yes, I agree.
Yes. So I look at it like this. Okay, I commented just because I was trying to get Zach going on this because Zach is this huge conspiracy theory nut saying the games are rigged and scripted. It's not WWE or
I'm glad he's not on because I just wouldn't tell him to shut up. But go ahead.
It does seem at times that they are getting calls. I do think that they put themselves in positions to benefit from the rules. The New England Patriots did a lot of that during their run under Bill Belichick.
I mean, the Chiefs haven't been accused of video in people's practices. I mean, I don't know.
No, I don't see Andy Reid doing that. He can't. He's not very sneaky. He's just a big dude.
The big difference between those two teams really is Andy Reid versus Sean McDermott. Andy Reid knows how to coach throughout an entire game. Sean McDermott has not figured out how to beat Andy Reid yet.
Well, the fact that you want to keep running, quarterback draw off tackle or whatever, and it's like everybody knows that's coming. Okay, that's great. You feel like that's we're
Dude,
gonna
get
get that
the
short
ball
yardage.
into James Cook's hands. What are you doing? I mean,
You signed him for a reason. Dalvin Cook.
No.
Is it Dalvin Cook?
No, Dalvin Cook's the one on the Vikings, I think.
Oh, did he? I thought he got. Okay.
I'll look it up now, but no, it's. I'm almost certain.
My bad.
Dude, I know my football, bruh.
No.
Okay.
Well, so I just
James
read
Cook.
this stat.
You're correct. It's James Cook.
Damn, he was on my fantasy team.
My bad. Okay. Chill.
But they didn't.
Dude.
He didn't get touches when they needed them, and
no,
he needed to get touches, and he didn't. And I believe me, I witnessed this. I was a Rams fan, and I watched Mike Martz not give the ball to Marshall Faulk, and that's why they didn't win 2 Super Bowls, because Mike Martz is an idiot. And he's
a genius, but he's an
genius,
idiot.
but an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, Tyler Willie. It's James. My bad. I can admit when I'm wrong. Good God.
Well, we can talk all we want about whichever Cook plays for the Bills.
But he wasn't cooking.
Because he didn't get a chance.
The cook that they had wasn't cooking.
But
he got cooked.
I've said this really comes down to the Bills' defense not getting stops and not creating turnovers.
Yes.
The stat I just read: teams that have at least 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in a playoff game are 59-3 since 2000.
Yeah.
So if you don't get any turnovers, you have no chance to win the game.
It does help. Play some defense.
Yes.
You know?
And the Buffalo defense had no answer for Mahomes and Worthy and Kelsey, and enter Chiefs name here trying to get stops defensively. They just could not do it.
Worthy's dangerous, man. That dude, I like him. I'm in a
textbook. Take the
I'm
lid
in a
off
little
the defense.
playoff thing. We all threw in 25. Winner takes all. And I only have Worthy, AJ Brown, and the backup running back for Philadelphia left, I guess. So, but I'm in the lead by about 40 points. So we'll see how it works out on Super Bowl. So
you're just rolling over here. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but Xavier Worthy was traded. His pick was traded by the Buffalo Bills. How'd that work out? I probably wish they had him right now.
Well, leave Ron Rhodes, since we're talking NFL, and since he's old, he brings up Pete Carroll, who's old.
What? Now, hang on. I want to
before we get to I just thought it was funny.
The Raiders. You mentioned it about the Chiefs, and there's this weird dynamic between the Patriots and the Chiefs. You take all of the Spygate, Deflategate, and just whatever hatred of the Patriots away. There's this turn of the tide when you have dynasties in sports, and for me it goes back to the Dark Knight movie. And Jason, I don't know if you've seen this or not. There's a famous line in it that really plays for
that's
sports
the Batman
when
movie,
you have
right?
teams that have some.
Yeah,
it's Batman. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That is exactly what happens to these dynasties. When the Patriots beat the Rams, everybody was all for. Oh, look at these guys. They're all running out of the tunnel together. Yay, 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 whatever. This Tom Brady story is amazing. And all of a sudden it just turns over into, okay, well, we've seen them play and, I've had enough of them. And it happens.
They got to be cheating. Yeah.
It happens. It happened with the Ravens.
But it doesn't come on.
Okay, I get it. Great. Did you not hear what I said? Take that
cheater.
out of it. You had that happen with the Bulls. You had that happen with any of the dynasties that you've seen in pro sports. Everybody from the outside either doesn't want to see him win or they're ready to tear it down because they want something new. We're in an age of people that do not like to see dynasties last more than 3 years. The Chiefs are on year 5, 6? I mean, it's one of the two. This is their 4th Super Bowl in 6 years. All right, there's a lot of people that don't want to see the Chiefs win. And I'm neutral to it. The Chiefs are in Missouri. They're not my team. My team left and went to Los Angeles, so I don't have a team. I just like watching good football. But at times I was like, I like to see maybe Buffalo win just because. And I find myself doing that. It's like, But I'm not. I can't say I'm just a huge Chiefs fan. If they win, they're great. Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the top 3 coaches of all time. Okay. So, I mean, it's just, I don't have a dog in the fight, and other people do. And I'm not disrespecting that, but this is what happens with our sports dynasties. People do not want to see them win. There's a window, and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to see him win anymore. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is also building the next big story every year. It's will the Bills finally get over the hump and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? For a while, I thought that was going to be Joe Burrow and the Bengals, but after that 1 year, they've kind of fallen off the face of the earth in this situation.
Right.
So we'll see. And it'll be next year coming in. Is this the Bills' year? And it's a built-in story for every football season until it happens. So when's the end of the dynasty? What year is going to be the end of the dynasty? So probably, does Patrick Mahomes stay healthy? Can the Chiefs win without Patrick Mahomes going down those paths? And no, they can't. So, but
Jason, you are really, really quiet for some reason. It's kind of disturbing.
Go Chiefs.
Wow, that was well, we don't call the best color man in baseball for nothing. Good job, Monty.
Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs. Gosh, I get more out of it. Well, right now, you brought about as much as Jim Powers has to the show. Good job.
At least I'm here.
Well, let's go back to talking about coaches who don't hand the ball off to their star running back, and let's talk about Pete Carroll.
Marshawn.
Why did the Patriots have so many Super Bowls? I don't know. Ask Pete Carroll. Now, what's our thoughts? The Los Angeles Raiders hired, what is he, 75? 75-year-old. I don't know. He's so old. They hired Pete Carroll.
But
I couldn't believe it.
Do you recognize the coaching lineup in the AFC West now? Andy Reid, Pete Carroll, Jim Harbaugh, and Sean Payton.
The who's who of AARP.
Yeah.
AARP
bag. 73. He's 73.
Hey, but Annie Aguirre or whatever her name is, her conference championship video that she puts out, she puts one out every week of the NFL
she's
meetings.
Great.
This week. Yeah. This week was so good, and she said, "Hire Pete Carroll." What has he got a 5-year plan? What? Don't die. I mean, I freaking died myself. I was like, yes, that's finally. I haven't heard that joke in so long. But yes, Pete Carroll has a 5-year plan that includes not dying, coaching the Raiders. Well, no, okay, Coach Rhodes, listen, you're not Pete Carroll, and you're not on a public national spotlight, and you're not the coach of the Raiders. It's a stressful situation to be the head coach of the Raiders, and you're Ron Rhodes. Yeah, show up to practice. I'll show up to school if I want to. I don't know. I'm Hall of Fame coach Ron Rhodes, whatever. Pete Carroll, I mean, he doesn't have that same kind of option. But I don't know. I think I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to look like.
Too.
I think it depends on what they do in the draft and who his quarterback will be. Is it Shador? Is it someone else? Do they stay with Aiden O'Connell?
No, they're going to sign.
What are they picking in the draft?
They're going to sign Russell Wilson.
Oh, dear God. That doesn't need to happen. No. No.
Pittsburgh would just give him away.
Why? Pittsburgh loved him halfway through the year, and then,
Yeah. Well, then all of a sudden you start, not winning. I think Pittsburgh keeps Fields, and they let Russ. They let him cook somewhere else.
That's what they should do.
If you're going to be bad, at least be bad while cheaper and younger.
Yeah, and open up cap space because he's going to want $15 to $25 million a year, and there ain't nobody need to pay Russell Wilson that kind of money. Okay, his record speaks for itself. He didn't win a bunch of games. Okay, people, you can say what you want. He ain't got the Legion of Boom behind him, and he once he got healthy and he started, he had a couple of nice games. And then he went back to sucking like Russell Wilson has for many years.
What was his stupid saying when he went up there to Denver?
I don't know.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Let's ride. There it is. Let's ride.
Okay. Let's put it like this. Justin Fields, who I think is a bust, also another product of the Ohio State University. 4-2 as a starter. Russell Wilson 6-5. Let's do some quick math here, fellas. What's a better record?
I'm not a math guy, but I think that
I'm
4-2 is better.
Yeah, 4-2 is better.
I'm actually really impressed that Tomlin got that many wins out of those two quarterbacks in one season.
And everybody wants to fire Mike Tomlin, by the way.
I might differ on this one.
Uh-oh.
I mean, dude, I don't know.
Go ahead. Don't pull that crap right now and be like, we don't want to say it now. Oh, come on, this is not coach speak here.
Playoff games when they're playing.
Who's winning playoff games?
When they're playing anything significant, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. They want championships.
Well, they're not going to have. They're not going to win championship. Freaking Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the quarterback position, and some no-name running back.
Big Bend is long gone.
I agree.
Isn't getting it done. Sorry.
No.
They don't have wide receivers like they did. They used to be able to
Where's Hines Ward?
Draft some. Yeah, well, he's gone. Okay, you got George Pickens who wants to fight everybody. George Pickens gets in more fights than anybody else, and he can't catch a ball. Just shut up. Just try to catch the ball. Why don't you worry about that instead of trying to fight every single person on the field? The Steelers only passed for 3,200 yards this year. Back in the 70s, that would have been something. Instead, it's the worst in football. Because everybody throws the ball. Okay, hell, I think the Browns had more passing yards.
Okay.
The Browns.
You brought up the Browns, so I got to throw this out there.
Oh, boy.
So the Browns just got Justin Tucker, huh?
Did they, though?
I know it.
Or is that
I
a
know
meme?
it's a meme, but it's funny.
Why did you bring that up then? Why? What did Justin Tucker do?
I hear that he
What didn't Justin Tucker do?
Tucker hung out at the same places that Deshaun Watson did. I don't know.
Well,
he went on the Robert Kraft winter cruise.
It's funny when you click on the story that the Baltimore Banner has. It says, content warning, this story contains graphic descriptions that may not be suitable for some readers.
I mean, don't want to talk.
Oh my gosh!
No wonder Tucker was having he had a little bout of the struggles. When
Oh my gosh!
He missed some kicks.
So Ravens kicker Justin Tucker, who's been one of the best kickers in NFL history up until maybe this year, engaged in inappropriate behavior at not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 high-end spas and wellness centers in the Baltimore region, according to 6 massage therapists, including exposing his genitals, brushing two of them with his exposed penis, and leaving what they believe to be, I can't even say it. He basically put some stuff on the massage table from himself after 3 of his treatments. He left a tip.
Treatments.
He left a tip. He did.
The old rubbing, you know what?
You can't say that he dropped the ball.
You can't say that on television.
Nobody's listening anyway.
I mean,
oh my gosh.
What? And I don't understand.
What the hell are you doing?
I do not understand. Dude,
I just love how you call them
got
treatments.
lots of money. Go to the bar, hit on a chick, and get a hotel room.
Oh my gosh.
Why are you going to massage parlors and flopping it out on people? What is your problem? God.
So,
and especially if you're going to ones that I mean, people know the ones that have those type of endings. What in the world is wrong with you?
So this is great. Several therapists.
This is great.
Several therapists. Great. This is insane. Several therapists said that Tucker's behavior was so egregious that they ended his sessions early or refused to work on him again. And at 2 spas, management said they banned him from returning. After receiving a tip, that's just great. On January 9th, the Baltimore Banner began investigating and spoke to 6 massage therapists who recounted troubling firsthand experiences from Tucker. This didn't just happen last year. From 2012 to 2016, and the women said they had long wanted to tell their stories. What? How has this been going on this long? The fact that he's not a quarterback or a running back or a wide receiver, this has been going on this long because he's a kicker. And nobody is like, you're a stupid kicker. That's it's like nobody cares.
So are we getting mad at Deshaun Watson when Justin Tucker was apparently the first one doing this and Deshaun Watson followed in his shoes?
Oh God.
It's so bad.
It's just there's so many play on words. I mean, did you see the thing I put in the group message with look at it's Pete.
I don't know if I was. Oh shit. Oh no. I can't put that on the show.
That's funny.
It
is that not funny?
I'll leave it.
Funny.
I gotta leave that one.
But you can't do that.
Oh my God.
That's an after hours.
What's wrong with these people? I don't understand. You can hire a hooker. What are you doing?
Can hire a hooker.
I mean, they could go to Vegas where it's legal. What? I don't understand.
You don't have to hire one. You've made enough money. Somebody's probably going to
for
throw
free.
No,
guys.
Like
guys, for free.
Guys, he's a kicker. Okay, he's got to throw some money at somebody. It's like, no, really, I do play professional football. No, really, this is me. No, it's not photoshopped. I'm a professional football player.
Listen, he's Justin Tucker, not Martine
Either
Gramatica.
Way. Nobody knows who he is.
Hey, Martina Gramatica flipped me off, just so you know.
Well, I flipped you off. What's the point?
We're at the Monday night game. It's Tampa Tampa comes to St. Louis, and I'm third row, and he shanks a freaking field goal, and he comes off, and I might have had a few beverages, and he comes off, and we are giving him the business, and all of a sudden, his finger comes up behind his helmet like this. He flipped us off. I'll never forget it. Martin Gramatica flipped me off.
Well, you should have given a hard time for, his celebration. The one where he tore his ACL jumping up and down like an idiot.
When I saw when you guys, whoever posted it in our chat, that Justin Tucker got traded to the Cleveland Browns, and then I read on, I'm like, oh my gosh, what in the world? Oh, wouldn't it be awesome if we did kick for them eventually? I mean, God. Oh man.
I mean, it's really funny. Just, I don't know. You're in the public eye. Don't do that. Don't do that. Listen, Go ahead, Kevin.
I also, on top of this, what does his future in the NFL look like? Because if they're letting Deshaun Watson stay in the NFL, there's no way they can keep him from staying in the NFL. He will kick next year.
Well, because he can kick.
I'm just saying.
The dogs agree.
Who let the dogs out?
But yes, but in the past they have the whole citizenship rule or whatever they've had where they have banned players for a year or two. What did they ban somebody from gambling inside a locker room? But nope, you can still play.
No, I mean you're right. I mean, but here's the funny part. If you take a deep dive on this on Twitter, it is so funny to read the quotes. Wiggled his pelvis to remove the sheets. It's fully or partially exposed genitals. Like, who the hell does that? Why would you do that? You are a professional football player. Yeah, like you just. What do you? It's like Coyote Ugly.
I don't think we're gonna get over this tonight. I mean, we're just not gonna get over this.
We had to bring it up. It's terrible, awful. And then he goes out and says his lawyer says, all the right things, like he did not engage in inappropriate behavior. I'm like thinking of Bill Clinton.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman
during any massage therapy session. And any suggestion to the contrary is fictitious and utterly baseless. And then they start talking about, his outsized public persona and then his Catholic faith. And I'm like, come on, man, don't go hide behind that. If you did it, just say you did it, move on, and just everybody will be happy at the end of the day.
Whatever you gotta do, and
just do it at the end of the day, and you're fine. Good God, everybody makes mistakes and you do stupid stuff. But
I don't know that this is fine, Chris. But I mean,
no, it's not fine. I'm just saying, like people can move on it to some degree here, and not everybody's gonna move on from things like this. I'm just saying, like, just stop that.
Leonard Little played after what he did. I mean, let's be real.
There's been a lot of people who've done a lot of bad things.
But when I saw the stuff and I started looking, I'm like, oh, the internet is going to win this 100 times over.
Oh yeah, we'll see some more memes.
There's going to be so many memes over this.
It'll be like, the one that you said.
It'll die down about summer, and then it'll pop back up when you. That came.
That's
out
exactly. I
got it. It'll pop back.
Commercial break. Coach's box.
That has to be a TikTok right there. He even put his finger like.
I'm out.
Go to commercial.
blower, and I'm not exactly street legal.
And if you don't have the right auto coverage, this could really blow your budget. So get Allstate, save money, and be protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
It's Between Takes with Daikin and Dave Mars.
Good. All right, next setup.
Hey, Dave, we got another question about energy savings. And this is a good one.
Yeah, efficiency is so important.
Didn't you just talk with Daikin about this?
They said energy efficiency is the key to a happy marriage. She gets the temperature, I get the savings.
Good to know. I'll tell them to check with their local Daikin dealer.
All right, back to one.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com. In the hobby of collecting, check out Elite Collectibles, open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. They carry a wide variety of sports cards, trading cards, magic cards, Pokemon cards, and other non-sports cards. Need some supplies? They also have sleeves, top loaders, boxes, and much, much more. They have online auctions every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and also do bulk grading submissions to SGC and CGC. Check out Elite Collectibles at 1258 Main Street in Imperial, Missouri. You can also view their entire inventory at www.elitecollecting.com.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm Health Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling, we've got so much content on there. Gaming, check it out. Live, not live, we've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
Hello, welcome back to the Coach's Box Call Like We See It podcast. This is the third, maybe the final segment of the show if we continue with the euphemisms and some of the content here. If you missed the second segment, well, you missed out. But you can go back and you can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, the X, and you can do that all for the grand total of
$0.
$0.
I saw what we wanted to talk about before we do.
Oh Lord.
So I had to go. I had to calm myself down a little bit.
So did Justin Tucker before he walked out of the massage parlor.
I just spiked that one. I just set that one, man. Anyway,
so easy. Go ahead.
So I'm scrolling through ESPN. And the Lakers are playing in Washington, and Bronny's shooting free throws, and they are chanting MVP. He's shooting free throws. He does have 5 points tonight.
Oh, he does?
Yes, but
we're all happy for him.
He was shooting free throws, and the Washington fans in great sarcastic fashion are chanting MVP. I've laughed so much tonight. I needed this. This is great.
Yeah, that's great. Well, our third segment jumps right into another interesting athlete who's doing things he probably shouldn't. And we're talking about the Miami Heat guard, Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler has now been suspended for the third time in less than 2 weeks? Maybe 3, maybe. I think it's been 2. But walked out of practice and is now suspended indefinitely. This is after he's been very disgruntled about what Miami's been doing, I guess, as far as running their team. And he made it known because he missed a team flight, which makes no sense. To just miss a plane to go help your team play. But okay, cool. So he was suspended then, and he's walked out of practice, I believe, twice. And all of a sudden now he's suspended. After he did it the second time, or, he got suspended the second time, him and his agent came out and said they wanted to trade. And Pat Riley goes, no, I'm not trading you. Because he's under contract. So he doesn't have to. But it's been absolutely insane what Jimmy Butler is doing with the Heat. And I mean, how do you handle this as a coach, as a fan, if you're the fan of the Heat, or just if you're Pat Riley? I think these are, or if you're Jimmy Butler, hell, does he have a case? Go ahead, guys, jump in.
Well, I mean, Miami's got to drop the price tag. They're having to drop the price tag. They're gonna have. You got to get rid of him. I know it sucks, and I know that you're giving in to what he wants, but I think you got to get rid of him.
I'd trade him somewhere he doesn't want to go if that were the case. If you can get a good price for him at that point.
I don't even know if I could get a good price. As long as I'm not having to pay a bunch of his salary, I don't care where he goes.
Well, I wonder how Pat Riley's really good at his job. How did he not see this coming over the last couple of years? This kind of diving in this direction. You could see some of his behavior become an issue at some point. This probably should have handled a year or so ago. And it wasn't, and that's really kind of why it got to this head. To this steam of this head, or whatever you want to call it, but he's got to go. He can't stay on the roster.
Well, he's got a player option for next year. This year, Jimmy Butler is making $48 million. Guaranteed.
Yep.
$48 million guaranteed.
With a player option for $52.4 million next year.
Correct. So here's what's going on with Jimmy Butler. You're a 35-year-old basketball player who's on the downside of his career. I don't know if I would be making a bunch of demands about where I'm playing, because I don't have the leverage. Now, Jimmy Butler has propelled the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals appearances. And they weren't good when he did it. They did it in the bubble, and then they did it another year. I can't even remember now, because it's been that irrelevant. But, he's been a good player for Miami. But he's also been Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler is kind of a pain in the ass, okay? Let's just be real here. He's not he's good enough to get him to a point, and then that's it. And I think he'll go down as one of the better players to play. But do you want this to be your legacy, that you're that big of a freaking quitter? Okay? I mean, there's better ways to handle it professionally. Especially, it'd be one thing if he was a 24-year-old punk. He's 30. It's not like he's some kid. But that shows a lot about him. That I mean, what are you trying to prove here?
Well, he's not trying to prove anything. He wants to go to Phoenix. I mean, that's what he wants. He wants to go to Phoenix. That's his goal number 1, 2, and 3. He wants to be in Phoenix. And I mean, he's wore.
And why is that? Why is that, Jason?
I don't know. He's wore shoes at Phoenix. I mean, he's just I don't know. That's his list. That's where he wants to go. It's his one team list.
If you go down the X rabbit hole of reading comments and things like that, there are fans all throughout the NBA that are clamoring for their team to trade for Jimmy Butler. There's not a single front office somewhere that's looking at this going, oh yeah, we should do that because the fans want it, because he is a disaster to a locker room.
Well, wait a minute.
Well, also Phoenix's owner, Matt Ishabia or whatever the heck his name is, he suggested that he would give Butler an extension like he wants. So, yeah, Butler wants to try to go there.
Wait, the problem with Phoenix, guys, again, you have guaranteed contracts in the NBA. Okay, that money is getting paid. It's not like the NFL where you can sign a contract, and unless you say, yeah, we'll give you this much of that contract guaranteed or a signing bonus. Every contract, every dollar cent is guaranteed unless you're suspended to get paid to the player. Here's the salaries for the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, sitting at number 1, makes $51 million. Number 2, St. Louis's own Bradley Beal, making $50 million.
Well, and that's the reason why he can't go there right now is Bradley.
And no. And have another one. The number 3 player in salary is Devin Booker, making $49 million.
Damn.
Then they have 2 other guys.
That's $150 million. 3 people.
They're 7th in the West, by the way. It's not like those 3 guys are making them, the top team in the West. No, they're 7th place right now throughout the season. Because, when you pay the guys that much money, you can't pay other dudes to fill the roster. So they have Grayson Allen is their 5th highest paid player at $15 million. Nurkic or whatever his name is, $18 million, and a bunch of guys. You got a couple mid-level exceptions, and then you still got Mason Plumlee making money, and Monte Morris and EJ Liddell, from what was it? He played at Ohio State.
One of the Bellevilles.
Yeah, he played at Belleville East, I think.
Well, I think I'm looking at the same thing, Chris, but it's not even that. It's the money they have tied up next year, because Durant, Beal, and Booker all make over $50 million a year next year.
And they can do that, then go over the salary cap because of the Larry Bird exception.
Yeah. So that's 3 guys.
Okay.
3 guys over $150 million.
Yes.
And then 2 years, after that, in 26, 27, Beal and Booker are both making almost 60 each.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Which means you can't trade for Jimmy Butler unless you trade one of those guys. And the Heat are not going to trade for one of those guys. They want the draft picks so they can restock the shelf and go from there, because guaranteed contracts weigh you down. Jeez, Jason, why don't you yawn a little bit harder here?
Sorry, the Heat have already said they do not want Bradley Beal.
I don't want Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal doesn't want to go to the Heat.
And Bradley Beal,
and he has veto power.
Yeah. So it probably gave him a no trade clause. So why do you want those kind of guys? The fact of the matter is ever since they allowed players to have so much power and say on these teams, they've created these super teams with max contracts. And so guys that understand, I don't need to be paid a bunch of money. I just need to make my money, and I can go somewhere and play where there's some other dudes. They're the ones who benefit. Okay. And that's what it really comes down to. when you got these guys chasing all those dollar bills, and I get it, go get paid. But man, it's just it's killing the league. And then you got these guys that are divas, prima donnas. They're just demanding that they play here, there, and everywhere else. I can't watch it. I can't watch it. I think it's ridiculous.
Speaking of power for players, add this. Bradley Beal's contract includes a no trade clause and a 15% trade kicker. So if you trade him, it adds another about basically a couple $1 million to his contract.
Because he needs more money. So that's insane.
If you trade him, his $50 million contract becomes $53 million, something like that.
How do you sign somebody and employ them, and then have that happen?
Ask the Dodgers.
Oh,
they're just going to pay him until he's 50.
Unreal.
Bobby Bonilla style. Yes.
Well,
hey man,
the Dodgers might not be able to have a team in 30 years because of all the deferred money.
The Dodgers are going to force professional leagues to change the rules on contracts and deferred money moving forward. They're going to have to do it. MLB is going to be the first, but everyone else is going to have to change the rules on that. This is not allowed because whoever they sell this team to eventually will not be able to afford these contracts.
No, there's no possible way. It's insane. The amount of money that is deferred from the Dodgers could fund the entire Major League Baseball, like 3 leagues worth of teams. I just can't. Every time I see them sign somebody and then read about it, it's deferred money. Well, that money becomes more money down the line because of inflation and everything else. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
They found this major loophole.
Wish I could get some deferred money.
Well, you can, but you got to pay a bunch of interest on it. That's how that works. But apparently it's not a big deal when you're the Dodgers.
The Dodgers have deferred next year $1.4 billion in contracts.
And how does that happen? I mean, what is it when that check comes due? What does that look like for the Dodgers?
That is insane.
To me, it tells me they're going to go broke.
How
can you do that? Okay, let's think about this from a very.
There has to be something written into those contracts that they can get out of something at some point, and they can, you know what I mean? There has to be some way for them to do that.
What's the get what? There's nothing to get whenever they did this.
I don't know.
That's insane.
I wish I had. There's no way for them to do it. It's like my 3-year-old nephew decided to make these contracts because he really wanted these baseball cards, so he just signed them into whatever they wanted.
Well, I mean, so deferred money is the way to like get around. It's like using your credit card. It's like, okay, whatever, it's not there. And that's fine, but then at some point, someone has to pick up the tab.
Got to pay up at some point.
The only person that can save the Dodgers now is Dave Ramsey.
Oh, nobody. I don't see how this works. You know, and I read just a little bit on it. Hey, Kevin, you hit it nail on the head. So $1.4 billion of deferred money. If you have a $50,000 student loan and you defer that money, that becomes like a $100,000 student loan, depending on the interest after a while. This money is not going anywhere, and it's being taxed. The government still says this money is money that you're spending, and it's money that gets taxed, and it's not going away. So what? Who's paying this? How does this work? And nobody else can do this because nobody else wants to go broke. The Dodgers might not have a team, guys. There's no way.
I wonder how Major League Baseball fixes this. What does the rule look like to fix this? Like,
you can't defer your money.
But it has to be something along the lines of saying your AAV is what is on your salary cap. So there's like this much this year, this much this. You can pay them whatever you want, but the AAV is what is your salary cap hit.
So what'll have to happen for this to happen, because there is no salary cap in Major League Baseball. The league would have to say, as a whole, we want a salary cap to keep teams like the Dodgers from just being in this plethora of money they already have and deferring money that they don't want to spend right now so they can corner the market on every single player. Then every Major League Baseball player, including the union, would have to go, you're right, because you're killing the league itself and you're going to bring it into financial downfall at some point when someone says, now you have to pay this bill. And when that happens, you're going to see the entire Major League Baseball organization, teams, players, it's going to cause chaos. But the problem is, will the players accept a salary cap to keep that from happening? I say no, because they're that greedy.
The only way the players agree to it is if that salary cap is above what teams spend now. So like there would have to be $400 million, like a $400 million salary cap or something. I think a floor is way more important in baseball for the savior of the league in order to force teams to spend than a cap.
I don't
like an $80 million floor.
They need to have a $90 million floor. But if you own a Major League Baseball team, you have to spend money on contracts for players. It should be a necessity. So if you have a bunch of young guys that are on player control, then you have to go out and sign some guys that are on, 1 or 2 year deals just to meet the floor. And that's fine. But
or give those younger guys the contracts earlier than you planned.
Yes. But the deferred money is a major problem that nobody else really is looking at, because they're like, okay, well, whatever. That's crazy. That's the Dodgers being the Dodgers. No, that's insanely irresponsible spending.
Well, I think the players would get behind it, because at some point the Dodgers are going to go, sorry, Shohei, we can't pay you. I know we deferred it, but we don't have the money to pay you. We're going to file for bankruptcy. So for the only way for the players to ensure that they get the money that they signed a contract for is to agree to eliminate the ability to defer money. Pay me my money now. I'll defer it in investments. That way I know I have it and I don't have to make sure you don't screw it away down the road and not be able to pay me.
How dangerous of this, how dangerous of a practice is this as a player signing these contracts when it's a guaranteed contract? But let's just say hypothetically the Dodgers are in economic turmoil in 10 years or less, and they say, yeah, we're going to file for bankruptcy and we have to move the team to, I don't know, Oklahoma. Let's just throw that out there, whatever. Because we had to sell the team to make some kind of profit after I declared bankruptcy and couldn't pay all these salaries. Then what? Who's on the hook for that money?
That's going to be the problem that the players are going to have to assume and say that they have to assume worst case scenario when they go to make these decisions and go this route. It is better for their players down the road to not do this. This wouldn't be such a big deal if it was only like one player that they were deferring money to. But when you're deferring $1.4 billion, all right,
$700
it's
million
just not a good way to go.
One guy. One guy has $700 million. And then everybody else. I mean, they've only went out and got like what, a whole team of players in the offseason. They signed the best Japanese pitcher. They signed one of the best relievers. I mean, they've in the best pitcher on the free agent market. I mean, that's what they do. They're the Dodgers, and everybody's
That's
like,
what the Dodgers do.
But
they're also now
the money is bad.
When the time comes, they're untradeable contracts.
Yes.
Nobody. Let's say they wanted to just eliminate Ohtani's contract. They're going to have to say, listen, but and whoever they're trading to would say, we're not paying any of the deferred money. You're still on the hook for that.
They have to eat that money for the rest of time.
Yeah.
There's no way. You're right. They're going to say, we'll take him, but you pay for him and fill our soda machines for an entire year.
I want snack machines filled too.
I want $700 million worth of snack machines.
Hey, just to give you an update, Bronny's numbers tonight: 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists.
Wow!
What did he shoot from the floor?
+3 rating. Let's see. He shot. Oh, I don't know. This game. He shot.
Chart.
Oh gosh. It says. I don't even want to say it. Oh, yeah.
Do it.
It says he shot 16.7%.
Let it rain.
Hey, his shooting percentage went up. It went up.
That's what it said. This game, 16.7%.
How many shots you got to shoot to get that? Like 13 shots?
It doesn't
Who
show
the
how
hell's
many
letting him
shots
shooting that many shots?
Well, they did trounce Washington 134-96.
It's Washington. I can't believe they still have a team. Washington hasn't been relevant any time except the time that they had Wes Unseld. And that's when they were the Bullets and everybody wasn't so damn politically correct. That's the last time Washington basketball mattered. That's how stupid that franchise is. No, it was before Jordan. Jordan made everybody watch him because he was owner, player, whatever. They weren't even relevant then. That was a publicity stunt. And he played, and I respect Michael Jordan, whatever. The Washington basketball franchise, it's bad you gotta say it. How many places have changed their team names because of political correctness? Oh, I can tell you right now, Washington, there you go. They got 2 teams they had to change because some Karen got offended about shit. Yeah, but we're talking about 2 teams. Cleveland only changed 1 team.
But Atlanta,
the Cavaliers.
But Atlanta's still going.
Bronny was one of 6 from the floor.
He took 6 shots. Listen, Bronny, that's great. Hey, here's your jersey. Don't do anything stupid. Pass the ball to someone who can actually score.
Oh man,
yeah.
It's sad.
It's sad. Jason's yawning. It's about time to get off the show.
No, I'm like, I'm doing all right.
He was 3 of 3 from the free throw line.
Oh, well, at least he can shoot free throws.
Hey.
That's why they were chanting MVP.
What's your round ball action this weekend, sir?
Well, we play Waynesville tomorrow at home.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Did you get a film from Sullivan? I think they played him.
I mean, I've got some film.
Yeah.
We've watched some film. We actually watched some film today. It was good and had a couple good days of practice. So we'll see. We're trying to get better. By the way, for anybody who is paying attention, and hopefully, the all district nomination forms will be sent out in the morning at 6:30. So be checking your inbox for any of you guys who are head basketball coaches.
What do I got to do?
Well, I mean, just, read the form and fill it out. Nominate your kids for all district.
Oh, we got to nominate already for all district? Holy crap.
You can, but then you go and talk about, anyway, it's your seed meetings.
It's the whole process. Yes, sir.
It's the process, Joel Embiid process.
But so you got a little round ball action. I play tomorrow for the consolation championship at the Bruce Thomas tournament against Pacific. We lost on a buzzer beater against Northwest. 2.6 seconds left. We're up 1. They throw it in. We guard it pretty well. They throw it back to the inbounder. He throws up a prayer. Hand in his face. Hits the back of the rim. Hits the backboard. Hits the front of the rim. Bounces up in the air. Lose. 54-53. So then we play Sullivan. Both of us standing at 1 win. And I can't think of Sullivan's new coach, but real young guy, first year coaching. Nice guy. Like him. We talked before the game, and both of us said the same thing. I said, yeah, I told my kids, well, one of us has to come out of here and have 2 wins because they had 1 win. We had 1 win. And that game goes down to the wire. Gavin Tooley hits a step back 3 with 4.2 seconds left to tie it for us at 40-40. Ties it. We go to overtime. We get a stop on their possession because they had 4.2 seconds. We go a couple possessions, and then Sullivan's coach decides he's going to hold it till the last shot against my 2-3 zone. So we, in Eric Lawrence fashion, because he tried to do this to me once, I just sat in the 2-3 zone and waited, and then they made their move, hit Jackson LaPlante, it hit off the kid's leg. He was going up to take a shot, hit off his leg. Jackson LaPlante gets the steal, kicks it to Duncan. He goes the full length of the court, gets to the free throw line, takes it in the air to shoot the shot and gets smacked in the head. Foul, buzzer sounds. He gets 2 shots and makes the first free throw. We win 41-40. 1 point scored in the 4-minute overtime.
Wow.
I've never seen a high school game in like that. That was the weird. It was just. It was. Yeah.
I coached a JV's girl game that went 3 overtimes without having a single point scored.
Wow, 3 overtimes.
That's wild. Sullivan's coach.
JV girls, you know how that is.
Well, it's JV girls, and sometimes it's tough to score.
I definitely know what that is, Kevin. Yes.
Kobe Wands. Kobe Wands is Sullivan's coach. He used to be at Newburgh. So
yes, Newburgh. Yep.
Yeah, I know him from MBCA stuff. So I was like, I'm pretty sure he's there. But anyway.
So we play Pacific. Windsor against Valley Park for the championship, and Valley Park has not had Geary for the first 2 games of the tournament. He has been ill, and so they're hoping he'll maybe get to play tomorrow, but they are tough.
Yeah, they are.
They win 2 games, and Geary's freshman brother played really solid for him. But they win 2 games. They have some talent, man. They got a sophomore post player. He is solid, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's them against Windsor. Windsor's trying to go for their 3rd championship in a row at the Bruce Thomas. The next game you have, these are the last 2. So that's the last game. And then a 7:00 game is Northwest versus Bayless. Bayless, man, they're fun to watch. They get up and down the court, and that'll be a fun game. Northwest is kind of a totally different style. And those two play. We play for the Consolation Championship, Tyler Whaley. We play at 5:30 tomorrow against Pacific. And then Hancock and Sullivan play in the 4 o'clock game slot. You know, because we like to go 4 games in a day at Herculaneum. So, but hey, it gets me out of any weekend tournament. Nothing on the weekend, man. So props to Jason Gilman, my AD. He's done a great job running that tournament this week.
There you go. Well, hey, for anybody who's a basketball coach and watching this show,
here we go.
No, I just want to wish you guys all good luck on a Friday night. Most boys basketball teams are playing. A lot of girls basketball teams are playing. So good luck to everybody, on their games tomorrow. And if you play any in a tournament, good luck to everybody. Also, make sure that you register with the MBCA and get your membership paid, so that way your kids have a chance for for postseason, all district, all state, any other kind of honors that we bestow on deserving student athletes. It's only $45, and if you haven't done it, well, you need to do it because, like I said, we're going to be sending out the nomination forms pretty soon. Kind of like do that as a little public service announcement. Just saying. You should know that, Jason. You're part of the MBCA.
That's right. And
That's right.
I am so glad that I've gotten involved in the MBCA, and it's been a good time, and can't wait to go to the Final Four, and maybe we'll shock some people and go to the Final Four ourselves.
There you go. Get it done.
Yeah, that's what we all strive for.
That's right. That's why we play the game. Well, fellas, I think we've had a pretty good show. The other guys.
You know why? There. You know why? Because big time Jim Powers is not here as usual, and little weasel Zach McVey. Little weasel, big weasel.
Gosh, Jason,
I'm here to throw people under the bus. If Kevin wasn't here, I'd say something about him, but he's here.
It's friends like that.
It's friends like that. Oh, okay. Let's play a varsity game, not a JV.
Here we go. Here we go. One of those kids has played JV about the rest of the year, just so you know.
That's bad coaching.
Yeah, I guess so. And also poor decisions by maybe that player. Anyway, appreciate everybody tuning in for another episode of the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it podcast. We will more than likely be back next week for another brand new episode. Until then, for all the guys who are here and for not here, good night. God bless, and we'll talk to you guys all later.
Deuces.
This episode of the Coach's Box, Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun